Hi friends, today we are going to study the chapter Physical and Chemical Changes. Be sure to watch the video fully because I have put many animations to make it more interesting. So let's start. Introduction to change. What is change? When one or more properties of a substance become different, we say that a change has taken place. What are properties? Some examples of properties are color, smell, taste, texture, size, shape, matter, solubility, luster, ductility, and elasticity. Changes are taking place all around us. Some of the changes observed by us in everyday life are formation of curd from milk, drying of clothes, cooking of food, ripening of fruits, burning of fuels, and rusting of iron. Changes can be of two types: physical changes and chemical changes. And any change cannot occur on its own. It always has a cause that brings about a change in a substance. Physical changes. The changes in which nothing new is produced and only the physical properties like matter, elasticity, ductility, shape, size, etc. change are called physical changes. I have used the term usually because many physical changes like tearing and cutting of paper and breaking of glass cannot be reversed. These kinds of changes are also usually reversible. Very less energy is either evolved or absorbed in such changes. A temporary change in color may also take place. An example of physical change. Let's take one example of physical change. Ice turns into water due to heat. In this case, ice is the object from where we start and water is the final product of the change. Here the cause is heat and the physical property that is changed is the matter of water. Some other examples of physical change are cutting of cloth, dissolving salt in water, melting of wax, drying of wet clothes, formation of cloud, glowing of bulb, cutting of wood, stretching of rubber band, grinding of wheat. Also remember that these are called physical changes because in all these changes no new substance is formed. Chemical changes. In these changes, the chemical properties like the smell and taste of the object change. These changes are always irreversible in nature. Also, a sound or gas may be formed during the change. Very large amount of energy is either absorbed during the change or it is given out during the change. A permanent change is also in color may take place. An example of chemical change. When wood is burned with fire, the remaining is ash of wood. So ash is a new substance formed, so it is a chemical change. Some other examples of chemical change are souring of milk, neutralization reaction. That is the reaction which happens when acid reacts with the base, digestion of food, cooking of food, explosion of firework, ripening of fruits, burning of fuels, photosynthesis in plants, and rusting of iron. Now let's see some important chemical changes. Burning of magnesium ribbon. This is the magnesium ribbon. Oxygen and fire makes it into magnesium oxide. The chemical change. Magnesium plus O2 is MgO. After that, magnesium oxide mixing with water. The oxide which we got after burning the magnesium ribbon is this MgO, which we add with water H2O. We get MgOH2, that is magnesium hydroxide. Then this is reaction between baking soda and vinegar. This is baking soda, this is vinegar, this is the mixture of baking soda and vinegar, this is lime water, and this is the milky lime water. This is the key of what we will get. Now we have to take two test tubes, then a delivery tube, then we have to put lime water. Here we have to put baking soda and vinegar. Then we have to cover it with corks. It will form the mixture of baking soda and vinegar. Here now carbon dioxide is forming. So if every time whenever the reaction of baking soda and vinegar is happening, that time always the carbon dioxide is only formed, so it will go through the delivery tube and it will pass on to the lime water. Now remember that only carbon dioxide can turn lime water milky. So once all the lime carbon dioxide goes into the lime water, it starts to dissolve, as you can see. Once it dissolves, it becomes into milky lime water. So the chemical names of whatever we have used: baking soda, NaHCO3 as sodium hydrogen carbonate, vinegar CH3COOH, acetic acid, and the mixture of baking soda and vinegar COONA, it is the sodium acetate. So if we put NaHCO3 plus CH3COOH, we get COONA plus CO2, that is carbon dioxide, and H2O, that is water. Reaction between copper sulfate and iron nail. This is one more important chemical change. The copper sulfate is blue in color and has copper in it. This is the copper sulfate. It contains copper. An iron nail is also put in the test tube with some copper sulfate. This is the iron nail. After some time, the color of iron nail changes to brown and the sulfate's color changes to green. So here after some time you can see that the sulfate has turned into green and the iron is covered with brown color. Now we can observe here that copper is deposited on the iron nail. So the brown color is not rust. Remember that it is only copper, and some of the iron mixes with the copper sulfate to form ferrous sulfate. So the formula is CuSO4 plus Fe is FeSO4 plus Cu. This also shows that iron is more reactive than copper. Importance of chemical changes. Metals are extracted from their ores by a series of chemical changes. Medicines, they are also made by carrying out many chemical changes: plastic, soap, detergent, and perfumes. Such daily products are also made by performing some chemical changes. Acid, bases, and salts, they are also made by carrying out many chemical changes. Now the difference between chemical and physical changes. Physical change are changes in which no new substances formed. These in chemical change are changes in which one or more substances are formed. In physical change, they are usually reversible. In chemical changes are irreversible. Very less energy is either evolved or absorbed in physical changes. A very large amount of energy is either evolved or absorbed in such changes in chemical changes. Physical change, it is a temporary change in color may take place, and in chemical changes a permanent color change may take place. So next, the rusting of iron. When an iron object is left in any humid place, like any in rainy season, if it is left on a field, so for a considerable amount of time, it gets covered with a reddish brown flaky substance called rust. The formula of rust formation is iron, that is Fe, oxygen plus water, O2 plus H2O. It is formed from moisture, and the result is iron oxide, that is Fe2O3. This is, you can see, the rust. There are some ways to prevent rust. They are zinc galvanization, painting, applying oil or grease, chromium plating, and using stainless steel. So let's discuss one by one. Zinc galvanization. Zinc galvanization, this is the process by which iron objects are coated with zinc to prevent rusting. This is zinc and this is iron. So this zinc is melted and poured onto the iron. So it forms the zinc galvanized iron bar. Please remember that Zinc galvanization means that the iron bar is only covered with zinc and not replaced by zinc. So this is the galvanic series. This is magnesium. It's the least noble, which means that it rusts very quickly. And this is platinum, the most noble, which means that it does not rust very easily. So in this galvanic series shows what is more susceptible to rust, and this is the least susceptible. So magnesium, zinc, aluminium, cadmium and mild steel, these are some of the most susceptible, and titanium, stainless steel, silver, gold and platinum are the least susceptible. Painting. It is one more method of preventing rust. Painting. It is the process by which iron objects are put paint so that the iron does not come in contact with the moisture, oxygen and water from the atmosphere. So this is paint. It is put on the unpainted body of car. So this is the painted body of. The next method is applying oil or grease. The process of applying oil or grease means that when oil and grease is less, the friction increases. So to prevent that, oil is applied to reduce friction, and when oil is applied, so the rust formation also slows down. So if the gear without oil was there, it rusted, and the gear without oil is proper. Chromium plating. This is another method of plating iron with chromium, like we did with the zinc. In this process, iron objects are coated with chromium. The chromium is corrosion resistant, so it is used. Corrosion means rust resistant. So this is chromium. It is put on the wheel disc. It is usually used in the wheel disc of vehicles. It is without chromium, and this is with chromium. So here rust will take place very slowly, but here it will take place very fast. Using stainless steel. This is another method of rust prevention. It is the alloy of iron along with carbon, chromium and nickel. It is used in making cooking utensils, knives, scissors and surgical instruments. These are these things are used for making the things because these need to be very clean, and if rust is formed, it can be very dangerous. So stainless steel is formed by iron, nickel, carbon, chromium and stainless steel. So the iron pillar at Delhi, there is an iron pillar of Delhi near the Qutub Minar, which has been standing at Delhi for over 1600 years. Why it is popular? It is popular because of its non-rusted state, despite of being made up of 99% iron. Nowadays, even things made up of less than 99% get rusted easily. So it has been considered in the 5th century CE, thus having an existence of around 1600 years. This is the iron pillar of Delhi. So in this case, it is an open field where an iron bar is left and pipe. So here now it is raining. So after that it gets rusted because it was left in the open. It got rusted. Now another case is rusting in ships. Nowadays all the ships travel in oceans and seas. As you know, salt water increases the speed of rusting. The presence of salt in water increases rusting. In fact, every shipping company must replace some or the other part of the ship due to rusting. This causes a lot of financial loss to a ship company. This is a new cargo ship, no rust is there, and this is a rusted cargo ship. Next topic is crystallization. Crystallization is the process by which a hot, concentrated and saturated solution of any substance is cooled to obtain large crystals of the desired substance. It also separates the desired substance from the soluble impurities along with the insoluble substances. For example, if we want to crystallize salt, we can from the salt and sand mixed with water, we can do crystallization, so we will get large crystals of salt. So here this is crystallization of pure copper sulfate. This is pure copper sulfate crystals. First we have to take a Bunsen burner. Then we have to take a tripod stand and we have to put a beaker with impure sample of copper sulfate. So after it gets heated and saturated, then it should be removed and pure copper sulfate crystals are there. So we have collected here, and this is the pure copper sulfate obtained by crystallization. And here the chapter ends. Thank you.